She's got long legs and short shorts, but she ain't got no teeth. She wears a red bandana on her head, and she smiles so sweet. She'll steal your heart at very first sight, she'll rip apart your soul. She'll torture your mind and waste your time and drag you down the road, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel.
Hey y'all, thanks for pressing play on the St. Andrews Jezebel Podcast. My name is Ashley Feller. I'm a third-generation Panama City local, singer-songwriter, and musician. Can you believe we are up to episode 28? There are so many wonderful things happening in St. Andrews this week, and I cannot wait to share them with you. We'll talk about all the amazing art and community events, and then stay tuned for an interview with Megghan McDougall to find out the scoop on the new Salty Sunset Market that begins tonight at 4 p.m. For this week's Old News segment, I'll be reading an article published in the St. Andrews Bay News in 1934 called Grouper Make Appearance in St. Andrews Bay. I want to thank everyone for all your support. To help the podcast even more, please leave me a review on YouTube or your podcast platform of choice. I really appreciate all your help. Well, I've got a lot of exciting things to share. Get your favorite beer, a glass of sweet tea, or whatever wets your whistle, and enjoy episode 28 of the St. Andrews Jezebel Podcast. Sunday, May 9th is Mother's Day. Why not treat your mama to a day of shopping, a nice cold libation, a delicious meal, and while you relax and enjoy some fabulous live music. To start, why not take your mama on the historic St. Andrews walking tour? The tour is led by Ellen, and the tours happen every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. at the Panama City Publishing Museum. Also, this is Senior Friday at the Publishing Museum. From 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., seniors 65 and over can enjoy free donuts, coffee, and a tour of the museum and the exhibits. Are you or your neighbor's Yard of the Month worthy? The historic St. Andrews Waterfront Partnership is focused on Where Town for May. Send your nominations via Facebook Messenger to Deborah Kivett, or you can email Deborah at kivettartstudio@gmail.com. Ware Town is what we all know as the commercial district of St. Andrews and includes the area east of Beck Avenue and south of Highway 98, also known as 15th Street, west of Frankfort to Beach Drive. The name Ware Town came about when Lambert Ware visited the area in 1877 and then returned in 1879. His brother Francis joined him in 1882, and they opened Ware Mercantile and Ware's Wharf on the present Harbor Village in St. Andrews Marina sites. Another great idea for a Mother's Day outing is to visit the Floriopolis Art and Public Spaces on Janie's Fence. The current theme is Songbirds. The exhibit is sponsored by Bubba T. Bird, Jody Jackson, and Annie Mae. This lively exhibit will be decorating Beck Avenue until the end of May, and it features 25 submissions, all contributed by local artists. Please stroll by and take photos, and remember to tag us, #Floriopolis and #Keep St. Andrews Salty. This exhibit features artwork by Annie Mae, Heather Parker, Caitlin Dillon, Noel West, J.A. Robinson, Barbara Dyer, Silas Dyer, Kelly Dyer, and Jim Hayton. One painting that stands out to me is by Floriopolis' own Annie Mae. It's a bold orange sunset against a deep blue sky with songbirds perched while flying around a power line. Annie Mae says the painting is called Roosting, and it's inspired by trees of roosting birds around the park. The lone traveler is returning to her nest, welcomed by her cat. The other painting that spoke to me was painted by J.A. Robinson. It appears to be a golden cage against a dreamy purple and blue cloudscape. J.A. comments that the painting is called Bird Song from a Gilded Cage. She comments, "We try to capture beauty with little care of the creature we've trapped. There is no bird, but the idea of its excellence we want to contain. Birds are meant to be free sky dwellers." Of course, tonight and every Thursday is the Salty Sunset Market. It's going to be every Thursday through September 30th from 4 to 9. Local vendors will be selling art, jewelry, fresh flowers, wooden creations, sandblasted glassware. There will be handmade children's clothing, dog treats, tie-dye, food trucks, and live music by yours truly this Thursday night. I am so excited to play opening night. Thank you, Megan. Next Wednesday, I'm hosting a monthly Creatives Meetup and Acoustic Jam. Join us at Floriopolis, 1131 Beck Avenue at 6 p.m. for a gathering of all types of creatives. Whether you are a poet, a visual artist, a filmmaker, a dancer, or a musician, then this meetup is for you, and all are welcome. You're welcome to bring snacks. You can bring your drink of choice. We do have some chairs available. From 6 to 7, we can get acquainted with each other, and we can have a group discussion about the monthly theme. This month, the theme is Overcoming Creative Blocks. But if you'd rather just be around for playtime, there's no pressure to attend the group discussion. You can just show up at 7 p.m. to either write or paint or play music. We'll be splitting off in smaller groups for creative free time after the discussion. Musicians are encouraged to bring their instruments for an acoustic jam session, and there's plenty of room to be alone to write, color, dance, or you could even play a creative game, or you could make up a game. Bear in mind, Floriopolis is only 9 feet wide, but there is additional space outside. I really hope to see you there. Panama City Comedy and the Library on Beck present a comedy open mic every Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is hosted by Janet Fortune. You can sign up in person at 7:30 p.m. All experience levels are welcome. Hunt's Oyster Bar now has an outside bar to help you enjoy your wait, and they're planning on having live music Thursday through Saturday. I'm really happy that Hunt's made this move. I was lucky enough to play there this past Saturday, and I had a really good time. Thank you so much, Hunt's, for having me. There's line dancing on Wednesdays at House of Bourbon. This Saturday, May 8th, Gypsy Beach has a kids' art project. Mamas, bring your littles, and you can enjoy watching them create a gift for you. And then you can also send your mama to Happy Place Painting Friday night at Gypsy Beach. Also this Saturday, May 8th at 11 a.m., Pat Sabiston, I apologize if I mispronounced your name, has a book signing at Little Village, which is called Can't, Never, Could. Probably the best thing you can do for your mom this Sunday for Mother's Day is to take her for lunch at Finn's and let her pick out a gift at Little Village. There's also free air plants to the first 30 moms to come to Little Village on Mother's Day, and $1 off momosas. The Wabi Sabies will be playing music for you beginning at 11 a.m. This concludes the community events for the upcoming weekend of May 7th through 9th. I'd like to wish all the mamas a happy Mother's Day, but especially my mama. My mom's name is Peggy, and she loves the color pink, and she raises beautiful orchids, and she makes the best chicken and dumplings you will ever taste. Love you, Mama. Thanks for everything. One of the best things about St. Andrews is that you can see live music every day. That's right, there is live music being played somewhere in St. Andrews 7 nights a week. Fortunately, my friend Ken Schaefer creates and publishes a weekly schedule for St. Andrews as well as most of Bay County. Ken's spreadsheet schedule is updated often when there's any changes. Ken also shares individual music events and is walking the walk and talking the talk when it comes to supporting live music. Not only does Ken supply the music schedules, but he attends several music performances a week and takes fantastic photos of the musicians. As a working musician myself, I feel blessed to have Ken and his wife Donna as treasured members of our local musical family. Make sure you like and follow Ken's page, Salty Sounds in St. Andrews, and Oh Boy Music on Facebook, so that you'll always know where all the live music will happen. Thank you so much, Ken, for everything you do. Tonight, May 6th, is the start of a brand new magical event, the Salty Sunset Market. Market manager Megghan McDougall is back today to tell us all about the event, which begins late this afternoon in the lot next to Floriopolis, located at 1131 Beck Avenue, also across from Hunt's Oyster Bar at 4 p.m. Good morning. You're listening to the St. Andrews Jezebel Podcast. We're here today with Megghan McDougall. She is the market manager for the market at St. Andrews, which takes place every Saturday. And she's here to talk to us today about the new night market. Good morning, Megghan. What's up with the new market? When does that start? And what can we expect from it?
So the Salty Sunset Market is what we're going to lovingly call the evening market in St. Andrews. It's going to be a seasonal extension of the St. Andrews Farmers Market that's on Saturday, but probably more art and less farm. I think we will have a few farmers there, but I think it's more going to be arts-based, and there'll be live music and elements of art going on, art experiences, hopefully little surprises and special guests mixed throughout. It's going to go for 22 consecutive Thursdays right here in St. Andrews. We are going to start it on the Tan Fanny's lot on May 6th, and it's going to run from 4 to 9 p.m.
That sounds awesome. And so how are the vendors going to be different specifically? What types of vendors would we possibly see at the new market?
So I have a couple of artists that I think will do really well at the evening market because they have lots of beachy, nautical, sea-themed decorations and different art. Like there's a vendor who she has broken plates and turns them into like crabs and fish and sea creatures. She'll take a bottle cap and that'll be the eye, and all these broken plates will be the fish fins. And so I think that you'll see a lot of sea-themed nautical art for sure as one difference. And we will also have, I'm hoping that if the flowers bloom like they're supposed to, we will have flower crowns by late spring as well.
I love that. I love the idea of people walking around with flower crowns on. And so let's talk about food. What kind of food trucks might we see at the market?
Okay, so CJD, Mr. Davenport, CJD Home Kitchens is going to alter his menu for this venue, and I'm excited about that because if you think about where you are in St. Andrews when you'll be enjoying the Salty Sunset Market, you'll be on Beck Ave, Hunt's will be right there, Ernie's will be right there. There's plenty of great dining to already partake in. And my thought is that if a food truck could be around, maybe that's something you can have for like a snack and then still go and enjoy a full course meal at a seafood restaurant later on after you walk around. So one of the things that I think might be on the menu are mac and cheese cups, which I'm kind of excited about. So hopefully he can make that happen, but I think that'll be fun. Think of smaller things to eat on the go while you're walking around and that you can grab and go and not have to have a full plate. And I've got a few bakers involved that I think on a rotating basis are going to participate. So look for things like cupcakes and maybe even some different international baked goods. I know I have one baker who does some Russian type breads and sweetbreads and things. So that could be offered too. So there's definitely going to be some home-baked items in the food lineup as well. And I'm hoping Tamale Time will be able to come back into the mix too because we've missed him at the day market.
For those who have kids, would you say that there's any kind of activities geared towards children?
So hoping that there will always be some element of something to do while there is shopping going on. So I've got some groups that are planning things like maybe painting some flower pots or bird houses or some interactive experience that'll be a few dollars to participate in that won't take too long, but it'll be something to kind of have a little art break and a little shopping break. And then I've also got people that are looking at maybe doing something like a plant hanging workshop or a tie-dye workshop within the market that you could just go up, pay your couple of bucks, do your activity right there. And that's just part of the experience of what's going on.
That sounds like a good time to me. And do you think we'll see anybody in costume at any time? Anything like that might happen?
Oh, man, I hope so. I have a call out right now. So if anyone's listening to this and they've ever had a desire to be a character, I'm looking for some promotional talent to help out with that because my hope is that you may see different folks walking up and down Beck inviting you personally to come to the market. And I don't want to divulge too much, but that could look very normal or very abnormal. We'll leave that up to the imagination at this point.
Absolutely. I love that. I'm really hoping that my father reaches out to you because I think he would make the saltiest, most delightfully grumpy King Neptune. I just see it.
Oh, please call me Mr. Feller. I would love to get him in as that. That's great.
So where'd you get the idea for the night market? How did this idea spark?
Okay. So this has been an idea that I've been babying and churning around for, I think, 6 months at this point. I became market manager in October, and I was trying to absorb all the responsibilities of what that entailed. And I was trying to seek information more about the historic St. Andrews Waterfront Partnership because I was trying to familiarize myself with what it wanted for the market. And I saw in a previous annual plan that they had talked about having a night market. And I asked around and I said, guys, did this ever go any further than this idea? And they kind of encouraged me to look into it. And so that turned into me looking at many different elements of where we could go or how we could go about it if there was enough vendor interest. And so many of the vendors were asking, like they wanted to vend in a place that they didn't have to drive maybe an hour to go to a second market. So Thursday night seemed like a better night than Friday, because if I did it on Friday, then they would be too tired for Saturday, and that didn't make sense for me or them. So Thursday, the hope is that'll give them a break. And then I think having it on a Thursday evening will be good in the summertime because then it doesn't conflict with what people already have as a busy weekend schedule. Mm-hmm. So it's something you could stop by after work or come and enjoy the sunset, because I think the sunset is one of the most beautiful assets of St. Andrews. There's a lot of beauty here as we're on the Bay Line, but the sunset is really what will make you stop and take your phone out and take a picture, or you just stop what you're doing and don't care that you're late and you watch the sunset over the bay. And I hope that people can come to the night market to enjoy that sunset experience as well, because I think that really is part of the ambiance, because the grand plan for the vision is that we launch it on the lot across from Hunt's Oyster Bar next to Floriopolis here in the old Tan Fanny's lot. But then the grand plan is for us to be on Bayview Avenue, which would be, I think, just a show-stopping place to have a night evening market with Edison bulb lighting and music and tapestries. And I think it would just be an amazing thing to be able to say that St. Andrews has such a market right on their marina. I think the locals and tourists would really lean into that. So that is my ultimate vision and goal, and that it would be an annual thing, and it would be perhaps even a longer season next year after we have what I'm going to consider the launch year of the annual night market.
I love that. I love the sound of all of it. There's other places that do have things like that are comparable, and there's no reason why we can't have it too. So I'm grateful for people like you who are in our community, who are actually doing the work to put things in place to make things like this happen.
One other positive thing that this market is going to do that I would love to share really quick is that, so for the vendors, when they pay for their spots and things, the market is a fundraiser for the historic St. Andrews Waterfront Partnership and helps keep the publishing museum alive and all the things that the partnership does. When I proposed the night market, part of what I wanted to happen was the funds that we end up raising from this market, I wanted it to turn around and pour back into the arts of St. Andrews. So I'm not going to tell them what to do with their money, but I have understanding that they have intentions to take the funds raised and turn it back into Art of St. Andrews. And they're working on a lot of really exciting plans that I think you've talked to people about, of how that is going to maybe happen with art. So it's kind of like an opportunity for artists to then give back to the arts community and people to come out to support the arts community. It's just like a circle of art. And I couldn't be more thrilled about the cycle of that, because I hope the artists sustain the artists and the community helps sustain the whole thing.
I believe it will. What are your creative intentions for this month, the month of May?
Creative intentions? Ooh. Every day I wake up and say I'm manifesting greatness. Because I've had dreams ever since the hurricane about what this is supposed to be, and I didn't even fully understand that. And I feel like I am in a period of working almost round the clock to make sure that all of these boxes are checked, because I want this to be a certain way, because I really think this can be something good for the community. and I see the end vision in my head. And so now I'm in that race to make sure I get all of that done for that to happen. So I think my creative intentions would be manifesting greatness, because I hope that maybe this will be the thing that people will remember Megghan McDougall for.
I think you're already doing that, so let's hope for just more of the same and even support to help you along the way. So before we go, where can folks find you online and ask you questions about either market that's on Saturday or Thursday?
The best way to get in touch with me is market@historicstandrews.com, because I try to work through my emails in the order they're received, so that way everyone gets a response. Sometimes you can catch me on the Market at St. Andrews Facebook page. I'm usually the one responding, but I may not be at my computer if you need something that requires an email. But I also really enjoy face-to-face contact. So if you are wanting to maybe get involved in the market, come and see me on Saturday and talk to me, and we can walk around and meet a couple of the vendors, and that can be a good way to start that, as well as just to come up and shake my hand, and that does more than me explaining something in an email.
That's a whole lot more personal, too. I love in-person communication. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we say goodbye today?
I just hope that everyone plans to come out on Thursday evening and see what's going on and support our local artists, who are all very excited and working in a lot of different ways to put this on for the community.
Yes, absolutely. So if you're listening now, that means that the night market is happening tonight in the Tan Fannies lot beginning at 4 p.m., correct?
Correct. We're going to be out there. I'll probably be out here all day. But 2 o'clock will be when the vendors start setting up, and by 4 we will be open for shopping and enjoying.
All right, we'll see you tonight at the Salty Sunset Market.
And they'll be able to listen to you, Ashley, because Ashley will be playing tonight. Ashley Feller, everybody.
Oh, that's right. I get to play on launch night. All right, come see us. Till then, keep St. Andrews salty. One of my most favorite things in the whole wide world is a grouper sandwich. And lucky for us, there's a few places in St. Andrews where you can get a great one. For this week's Old News segment, I thought I'd read an article called Grouper Make Appearance in St. Andrews Bay. This is from the St. Andrews Bay News, published May 8th in 1934. I can only imagine the fishermen's excitement on these catches. I hope you enjoy this. Local fishermen are having a marvelous time enjoying the keen sport of catching fish in quantities. The writer of this article was told of how each afternoon during the past week, it is a common sight to see the fishing boats with their guides and parties return to the city with handsome strings of prize beauties. Some of these strings are so long and the fish weigh so heavily, it requires 2 men to hold the strings in order to keep them off the ground. They are prize beauties without mistake. Not only are there 1 or 2 boats coming in, their crew having exceptionally good luck, but everyone has something in the way of a good catch to show for their trip out. The news was brought in that a party of fishermen started out from Millville to fish in the pass, where fishing was reported to be extra good. Just for luck, as they trailed along, a trolling spoon was dropped while going across Watson Bayou and happened to get into a school of black groupers. In a short while, the party had landed 42 splendid specimens, ranging in weight from 2 to 10 pounds. Needless to add, they did not go to the pass, for they had found all the sport desired almost at home. It is also reported that black snappers are coming into the bay, and quite a large school of these game specimens were sighted recently by local fishermen just off the city dock. The tide begins building up shortly after the forenoon, and the variety the fishermen are bringing in are chiefly mackerel and kingfish. The sport is proving more and more popular, and men with fishing poles and others with strings of fish are daily sights along the streets. Thank y'all so much for listening to episode 28 of the St. Andrews Jezebel Podcast. We now have a Facebook page as well as an Instagram account. The pages will share when future episodes will be published and more information regarding the growth of the podcast. I hope you'll visit these pages, and you can show your support by liking, following, and sharing the pages with all your salty friends. Before I head out, I need to mention I'm hoping to share all kinds of public events. So if you're having a yard sale or you'd like me to help you promote a special happening, please DM the podcast on Facebook, or you can always email me at ashley.feller@gmail.com. The podcast is now available to stream on Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, CastBox, and Google Podcasts. I'd like to thank everyone who has subscribed and shared the podcast with all their salty friends. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you everyone again for supporting this effort. The intro music was written by me and recorded by Dave Schwartz at Boundless Sounds on the campus of Gulf Coast State College. The show was recorded by me in my music room. Till next time, keep St. Andrews salty.
Red lipstick, so thick, and a push-up bra. Tramp stamp, stretch marks, and a lacy thong, 'cause she's a Jezebel. St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel. St. Andrew Jezebel.